the absence of limitations. You've got limitations. That is great. That forces you to create art. Without that, you make, again, he said at the time, without that you make no disrespect, but what he meant was, a little disrespect, but what he meant was, you know, if you don't have, it's not about the money, and it's about the thinking, the creativity, the originality, and the absence of limitations actually messes you up, because you can spend all the money in the world and take all the time. You're not going to be as creative as if you're forced by the absence of money and the absence of time. I did it, then I decided it worked phenomenal. I mean, it was emotional and everything. It threw the whole picture off. And I cut it out. And I have a different ending. He's coming out of a foxhole to turn on his town with all the stuff that he's had in the
Which person did that?
no, he liked it. He liked it fine, but he said, whatever happened to? And I said it, he said it, he actually said it, he thought I made the right choice, but he said, but wasn't that brilliant? And he said, and he was, and his point was more important than whether I actually used it, and because it's come to me, at least every single movie, you know, and many times in life, not related to movies, you know, the absence of limitations is the enemy of creativity.
Solid sentence.
It sums up.
Yeah, you look at all these $100 million movies.
Yeah. That have
no limitations, it's not art.
And if you're forced to find a creative solution to something, instead of being given it in terms of money and time and everything, you can create art. You can be an artist. It was a wonderfully supportive and important kind of phrase I felt that he came up with.
So Peter, are you still optimistic about the other side of it?
Well, I'm by nature optimistic, despite many evidence of the opposite. Much evidence of the opposite, but I do think that something will come of it.
You put so much of your life into it.
Well,
And my acting.
yeah, you were very good at it. Like, all ad-lib stuff is very good.
Let's open it up for a couple of questions.
The funny thing with John Huston, when you get drunk, by about 6 o'clock he was pretty plastic. But he was brilliant. While he was drunk, he was still brilliant. And he had a very funny thing he would do. If an actor forgets a line in the scene, he will say, I'm sorry, I forgot the line. What's the line? Line, I'm up, something like that. Not John Huston. If he forgot a line, he would say something. It may not be even remotely the line that he was supposed to say, but he would say something and exit. Leaving the other actor, me, saying, what? Now this amused the hell out of Orson. He loved it. He roared with laughter as I'm standing there saying, oh, it's fine. And so one time we're waiting for a shot, and Orson's got the camera, he's getting the shot, and John's over there, and I'm here, and John says to me, how many pictures have you acted in? And I said, one. That's not very many. And Orson, that's not very many.
I'll tell you a couple of funny Houston stories you'll appreciate. Wells shot around Houston for 3 years. I kept saying, who's going to play Jack Hannaford? And he said, it's either John Huston or Peter O'Toole doing his imitation of John Huston. I later told Peter O'Toole that. He thought that was very funny, but he said, I've never been approached by Wells. But anyway, we kept acting to Wells as if it was Huston. So 3 years into the shooting, 1974, I go to this house in Arizona, and I'm all excited because Houston's going to be there. And I opened the door of the bedroom, and there was John Huston putting his pants on with his old spindly legs and everything. He had a safari jacket. I was really embarrassed, and he came out and I apologized. I said, Mr. Huston, I just want to tell you I'm really excited you're here. I said, I've been waiting for you for 3 years to show up. We've been shooting around you. It's so great. You're fun. And he looks very alarmed. He said, you've been in this picture for 3 years? And I think it suddenly hit him what kind of crazy shit he was doing. And there was another moment that has to do with drinking that it's considered very bad to get actors drunk. You're not supposed to do that. But Wells thought that Houston had a lot of acting ability, and I think wanted to be a serious actor in his youth, but had kind of repressed it. And he told me it was just a lark. It was a lark, you know. So Wells wanted to make him serious, so he thought the way to tap into his deeper soul was to get him drunk and uninhibited, but you can only work for 3 or 4 hours a day to do that. And so at one point, and Houston had to use cue cards, like Orson and Houston like cue cards. Houston at one point stopped and said, Orson, what page are we on? And Orson said, John, what the hell difference does it make? And Houston said, I want to know how drunk I'm supposed to be.
Houston came to my office after Orson died, and I had on my editing machine Orson's last performance, Someone to Love, which I hadn't finished cutting. And he asked, could he see some of Orson? And he arrived with that, what is that called? Oxygen tent thing and a mask and a nurse, who I later found out was also his mistress. Even though he seemed way past having a mistress, he had a mistress, and she was the nurse, the very nice Hispanic lady who was carrying that substantial can that has the oxygen. And he had that on, and he sat at my editing machine, and I put on for him about what you could do there, 20 minutes on that can, of Orson talking without cutting it or anything, just of Orson talking. And he sat there crying, just crying. It was the most touching thing, quietly, no sound, just tears going down because he was attached to this oxygen thing. It was a mess, and it was very moving. And I realized, my God, that friendship really went deep. Because Orson was always dismissive. Orson was, in my opinion, a little jealous of Houston because Houston could accommodate commercial cinema. And he said, oh, he'll do anything. He'll direct anything. I remember telling him I liked Annie. I thought it was a very good film. I mean, I enjoyed it. It was very entertaining. And he got furious, of course. And he said, Houston will sell out anything just, to make the deal, to make the film. And they loved each other in a very, very special kind of way, I think. And
I remember.
I've just never forgotten that image of him sitting and crying silently as Orson was speaking about life and love and men and women. Very touching. Yes. Before you go
So you know what I was going to say.
it doesn't matter. You can pause.
Houston was,
I lost it.
I can't remember
No, go
I was
back.
gonna say the big difference between Houston and Wells is Wells would never compromise as a director. Like he was offered $1 million to direct Popeye. What do I know about cartoons, But Houston would have directed Popeye, and he would have been bankable, viable. He did Annie, which is, but he made $1 million for it. But he did that so he could make a little film every once in a while, like Lies Blood or The Dead.
He also liked to work.
Yeah, he liked to work, whereas Wells would compromise as an actor. He would do almost anything. Jerry Graver told me a couple of parts he turned down, like some Pasolini film where he had to play a pig, he wouldn't do that. But other than that, he would do almost anything as an actor. But unfortunately, we know him mostly as an actor. Most Americans have seen him doing these terrible acting parts. And back in the 80s, so he had a bad reputation because he was always doing those wine commercials. And today, the kids that I teach in school, they don't know about those wine commercials. They could care less. Maybe they see them on YouTube. They're funny, but they don't hold them against him. And other actors did commercials, like Henry Fonda did Lifesavers commercials. Who cares? Did anybody ever attack Henry Fonda for doing Lifesavers? Laurence Olivier did Polaroid commercials.
Everybody did Chesterfield.
Yeah.
Always buy Chesterfield.
Yeah. But Wells, for some reason, everybody would say, oh, it's terrible, he's sold out. When he died in America, the obituary said he was a tragic failure, but in France, maybe you remember they had a 20-page section in one of the French newspapers the next morning about what a great genius he was. He's so revered in their country there, isn't
Yeah, really. Still now.
he? Yeah.
So good, yeah.
And your film was in Cannes, they love him in Cannes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's get a couple of questions.
He had his hand raised longer than me.
Louder.
Yeah, microphone, yeah.
As you mentioned Orson Welles' final performance, it was actually Transformers in 1986.
Actually, Henry's film came out in '87.
But, because I'm wondering, why did he pick Transformers? He said horrible things about, like, actually, quote, you know what I did this morning? I played the voice of a toy, some terrible robot toys from Japan that changed from one thing to another.
Is it a voiceover part?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, but in Someone to Love, he plays a character. He's acting.
And I know,
So there's no relationship.
I know it was mentioned in Peter's book. I believe it was mentioned in Peter's book, Is Orson Welles.
Yeah, talk
Oh,
louder.
sorry. It was mentioned in your book, I believe. It was a book that was from October 5th, so 5 days before he passed away.
We can't hear you.
No, the timing, the Transformers film did come out, and maybe the last gig he had, but the Transformers film came out before Henry's film was released. Henry held on to his film, working on it, so the last Orson Welles performance to be released is Henry's, even though.
Well, the last thing he was going to do, Henry talked about how he died typing. He actually went to the bathroom and he collapsed on the floor, couldn't make it back to bed, and pulled down a pillow and went to sleep on the floor and died. But he was going to start shooting at UCLA the next morning, and one-man film of Julius Caesar with Gary Graver doing it. And UCLA was courting him, trying to be on the faculty, and he said, I'll consider it if I get to use the soundstage and the student crew for a few days. So he was always kind of, so he's going to do this one-man film. And it is said that what he was typing was from another film, The Magic Show. He was going to do a teleportation gag. That was the last thing he was thinking of, was teleportation.
But I've got to just add this to give you a sense of the humanity of this person we're talking about. That night before he died, somewhere during that night, I had told him that my mother was going into the hospital because she had some fear that she had cancer. And she had to go in to find out if she did, in fact. That I was going to find out the following morning. And the last message I got on those machines we used to have with answering was, this is your friend, Orson's voice, this is your friend, don't forget to call your mother as soon as you wake up in the morning, find out how she is, and then call me and let me know. And I mean, that was who a huge part of who he was. He was really this loving, caring, sensitive, wonderful guy. He had signed the book, the Barbara Leeming book, to my mother, from your honorary nephew, Orson, which just delighted her, you know.
That's probably his last words, and it's about a mother, which is kind of makes you think of Rosebud.
He had lunch with Steven Spielberg, who said he bought the sled
Yeah.
from Citizen Kane
$40,000.
for $60,000. And he didn't pay for lunch. So Orson was pissed off. And he said he spent $60,000 for that sled and couldn't pay for lunch.
Oh, and he said,
And then he said, then the great line.
The great
he said,
line.
I thought we burned that.
that's right. That's it. So anybody could have put a rosebud on a sled and sold it in a
Yeah.
silver book.
So it was probably
It might have been a second or third, or it might just have been a sled.
to the best of my knowledge, we burned that.
First of all, I just want to congratulate the filmmakers for this documentary. And the question I have is just for anybody who might have an answer.
That would be Peter.
Filmmaker Alejandro Jodorowsky claimed that he approached Orson Welles in the 1970s to star in his adaptation of Frank Herbert's Dune, and he further claimed that Welles agreed to do the picture. It never got made. He agreed to do the picture on the sole condition that Jodorowsky hired the chef from his favorite restaurant to do catering. Is this plausible, or is this just another one of those Orson Welles myths?
Just another one of those Orson.
Gives a fuck.
It sounds like this.
But I do want to say something about that. Orson had a favorite restaurant outside of Cannes called Oasis. Oasis, I don't know how to pronounce it.
Louis.
No. Oasis. Oasis. Oasis in English.
Oasis.
Look with a L.
Clara, l'Oasis.
L'Oasis. So it's very L'Oasis. We were in Cannes in '83 to try to raise money for him to do a film that we were trying to, and we were trying to show the world that it was still functioning and well. And we would go every night to this restaurant at the end of the evening. And he was on a strict diet because he was preparing to do the film that we were thinking we were getting the money for. And so he would order a fish and a salad and a Perrier and lemon for the fish and some unsauteed vegetables on the side. And he'd give me the menu and say, pick 4 or 5 entrees and 3 or 4 desserts and a few side dishes. I said, what are you talking about? I look like you, I can't do that. And he said, just do that. So I ordered ridiculous amounts of things. And he said, no, you're not doing it right. He ordered meals for me and then asked me to take a taste of each one and describe it to him. Which is not my gift. And terrified me because some tasted good and you start thinking, oh, I see how it can happen, So I had 4 or 5 main courses and 3 or 4 side dishes and 2 or 3 desserts, but I picked that and described badly. And this went on night after night after night for 7 days of the festival in Cannes. And I thought, boy, Orson is really doing it. He's working. He's decided. He's committed. He told me, who was with him all the time. And then the man came up to me and introduced himself to me, and he said, I am the sous chef, the under chef at that hotel that Orson is staying at outside of Cannes. I get a phone call from him about 4 or 5 every morning, ordering 3 or 4 steaks, 5 baked potatoes, whatever you want. He was fooling me. I was quite close to him, and yet he felt the need to show me that he was really on the path. And I found that just the most touching thing in the world.
One thing I want to say though about one of the myths of Welles is people talk about his fatness a lot. And yeah, okay, he was very fat and everything, but I think it was a glandular.
No, he ate.
Okay, he ate.
He ate enormous amounts. I'm just telling you that this chef or the sous chef told me with astonishment.
Yes.
That he would order what 4 or 5 people would have, and it was 5 hours after he had done this charade with me.
Well, I'm not saying you're wrong, but one thing I just want to say is
there are glandular
things. In my book, Whatever Happened to Orson Welles, I tried to destroy this talk about Welles' weight, because in the American media, they don't do this in Europe. They constantly talk about Welles being fat, and it's this condemnation. Jonathan Rosenbaum, I think, hit the nail on the head. We're a country that is full of obese people, so why are we obsessed with Welles' weight? We don't care that Hitchcock was fat, right? Does anybody care? Do you care that John Renoir was fat?
You think that Welles is singled out somehow?
Yeah, I think he's singled out for abuse, and
certainly targeted by comedians all the time.
Yeah.
Carson became it was a familiar name for
he stopped going on the Carson show because Carson would make weight jokes. But the point I want to make is a serious point. Jonathan Rosenbaum thinks it's a metaphor for Welles being an artist, that in America we hate artists, and that fatness is a way of talking about self-indulgence and hedonism, all the things that our puritanical country doesn't like. And so we don't say, oh, Alfred Hitchcock, he was so fat. We don't give a shit. We like it that he made Vertigo and Psycho that we talked about.
It never occurred to me that people made Orson more of a target than they did in the...
Yeah, you see that a lot in the media, and I've read all the articles about him, and it's just a depressing kind of thing. But in Europe, they don't do that.
One more. Okay.
I wanted to ask all the ones that knew Orson personally. I guess Henry kind of went over this, but what was the best advice Orson ever gave you about filmmaking?
I told you, the enemy of art is the absence of limitation.
But, I mean, for Peter and then everyone else too.
Well, I was going to make the last picture show, and I was sitting at breakfast with him, and I said, you know, I want to get that same depth of field that you had in Cain and in Touch of Evil. You'll never get it in color. Well, you know, they made the film faster now, so you'll never get it in color. Well, what am I supposed to do then? Shoot it in black and white. Well, I'd like to shoot it in black and white, but I don't think they'll let me. Have you asked? No. Well, why don't you ask? I mean, I read your script. It's an actor's vehicle. And you know what I always say about black and white? You know what? It's the actor's friend. Why do you say that? Because every performance looks better in black and white. Tell me a great performance in color. I dare you. So I went to the producer. I said, I want to shoot in black and white. And actually they just said, give me a week. And why do you want to shoot in black and white? I didn't say because Orson suggested it. I said, I think we get the period better in the actors. So anyway, they let me do it.
Bert said yes.
Bert said yes, and thanks to Orson for prodding me. That was great thing he did. I remember having dinner with him in Paris one time. This was relevant to your thing about Houston playing the part. We had dinner in some restaurant I could never find again. Orson knew had great steak. And we came out on the street, and he was talking, and he was pacing up and down. He said, why should I give Houston that part? It's a great part. I should play it. Really? But he's so right for it, God damn it. Yes. Yeah, he wants to play the part. For a long time, he did play the part, and I played a lot of scenes to him directly.
Yeah, but I thought you always knew that Houston was going to come
No,
in.
he was trying to decide.
Keith Baxter, who I got to know in Spain, who was the king and tries to be the young king, told me that in the early 60s, it was going to be called The Sacred Beast or The Other Side of the Wind. And he was going to be in it, and Welles was going to play the director in that.
Yeah.
And it was going to have Jean Moreau, Keith Baxter, and Tony Perkins in different kinds of parts. It mutated. I was going to say the best advice Welles gave me is a non-actor acting for Orson Welles, who I think was the greatest actor, director in the history of film, which was quite an amazing thing to be, you know, with all these great people of all different kinds, Academy Award winners, all kinds of characters. But he liked some of the mixture of non-actors too, to give it kind of verisimilitude. But he would shout at me a lot, don't act! If I tried anything cute, once in a while I thought, well, I should try something, you know. He would say, don't act, don't act, don't act. He would keep me in that state. And I finally realized you just be yourself and just let him manipulate you, and that worked. And then years later, I found a clipping from the making of Magnificent Ambersons where it said that he would shout at Tim Holt, don't act, don't act. So I thought, okay, I feel much better because Tim Holt was a really good actor. Yeah. I felt in good company there.
What's that? One kind of quote that you do about Orson that you'd like to say?
Just loved him, really loved him. Yeah, he was just the thing that I don't know if it comes across. He was just the sweetest man in the world. He was incredibly sweet. And he didn't allow it to be shown a lot, and he had a lot of protections and covers and insecurities about how to present himself to people in the world. He put on what he called his dancing bear act, and I'd kick him under the table, and he'd say to me, because he would treat people sometimes, you know, very brusquely or badly, and I'd kick him under the table. He had problems with his ankles, was it, or whatever it was, and he wore these boots. And he said, I don't need a Jewish conscience. Don't be the Jewish Jiminy Cricket. You know, because I tried to stop him from abusing. Some of the people just came over to say hi, hello, and so on. And he was very, very shy. I think that's the biggest secret probably about him. And therefore compensatorily incredibly aggressive initially when people would meet him frequently for no reason, push him away. Yeah.
Well, he was a great man to know. He was the greatest conversationalist I ever met. And he was everything that Henry said I agree with. He was also very funny. I remember we were shooting something on a rooftop or something, and the little light was going, we were losing the light. Orson was way over there with the camera. He said, "Peter, run this way, fast, right past the camera." I said, "Okay, why am I running?" He said, "I'll tell you when you get here." I loved him. He could be extraordinary. And he was extraordinary. He had a tremendous impact on a lot of people. I think he was the director who inspired more people to be directors than anybody since D.W. Griffith.
Ladies?
Ladies?
But I think we can just now see how much we had fun shooting this documentary with all of them. Because they made the documentary live. I don't know if you understand what I mean, but they made also really.
And you feel you got to know him?
Yeah, a bit actually. This is weird, but yes. And I'm talking. Yeah, okay. That it's like we know him after the documentary. And I think all the anecdote that you just told, those people I think can,
It's a wonderful piece of work, the documentary. It's a really wonderful.